Hey guys, this is the E-Crime Writer here, welcoming you back to another episode of Sleepy Hollow, the missing episodes. Last time, Team Witness has actually witnessed the death of Ichabod Crane, and since he made his deal with the devil, his soul has been damned, and thus he has been taken to hell. He had lost to not really the horsemen of death, but rather the horsemen of war, his own son, whom he made a sudden ambush onto him. It was like 2 against 1, and he made such a cheap move. And he blew on the trumpet, expediting the rapture. So, without Ichabod, how will Team Witness be able to save him? And how will they survive? How will the world survive? Well, let's find out. Alright, Chapter 10, To Hell and No Turning Back. With Ichabod gone and his soul taken to hell, it's up to his friends to save him from eternal damnation. It was thanks to Jenny and Laura who figured out their next location, and there will be quite a few elements I'll be using from another series. Something that Supernatural and Fox never had the guts to do. You will see soon enough. Inside Gavin's dark apartment, where his bedroom was, a thin layer of smoke emitted underneath his closet door. The heat was almost rising, causing the surgeon to awaken groggily in a sweat. There was a knock coming from it before he thought it was a fire of sorts. "Who's there?" There was a person clad in armor. An enormous red cross was smack dab in the middle. He opened the door and marched up to him, clanking his metal plates. He raised a hand of reassurance. "Calm yourself, young warrior. I'm just here to lend you some guidance," he responded in a deep voice. But you're dead?" His body solidified more, revealing long black strands of hair, a thin mustache, a dark Asian skin. "Legends never die, child. They will always stand to the test of time, even those that fight for God." "But you're really him!" Gavin paused for a moment, processing whom he was seeing before him. "You're Dante!" He nodded in affirmation, maintaining his serious demeanor. "The author of the Divine Comedy! You were portrayed in a lot of things, like in Devil May Cry and the Inferno game. And there was a movie based off of you. You were a hero who was once exiled and exiled to Florence. Everyone knows the story. Dismiss all that, warrior. We don't have much time. I'm here not because I plan to escort you through hell like Virgil did. I know so much about you, as well as your friends and the witnesses. You want to find a way to save Ichabod Crane from damnation, do you not?" That nearly caught Gavin off guard. How did he know all this? "Yeah, right. That was the main reason why I wanted to search for my beloved Beatrice. Virgil was my spiritual guide, leading me through all the planes of existence, including Inferno, Purgatorio, and then Paradiso. Much like her, Ichabod was imprisoned by Lucifer, wasn't he?" "Yeah, right. Then you know what you must do. Gather your friends, retrieve Ichabod's soul, and restore peace to the world. You can do it, Gavin." He rose and began to walk out. "Wait! Wait!" Gavin got out of his bed and stopped in his tracks. Dante turned toward him. "I can't." "Can't what?" I can't restore Ichabod's spirit like you did with Beatrice." "Why not?" "He made a deal with Lucifer, one he can't get out of. He was carried by Hellhound." "What for?" "He needed to obtain a fragment of the Philosopher's Stone in order to negate Dreyfus's immortality. Ichabod. He destroyed it earlier in an explosion, though Dreyfus survived it since he absorbed its energy. So Ichabod and Laura decided to head to the treachery ring, and Lucifer offered him the stone exchanging for his soul, which he received upon his death. Is that so? Sit down, Gavin." "Sit down." He sat on his bed while Dante looked at a pic of his deceased mom. Then knelt down and he was almost the same height. Let me tell you something, young one. Everyone gets one chance to do something righteous. Most people never take that chance either because they're frightened or they're just worried that they don't have what it takes to succeed. This is your chance now, as so it is for your friends, and you should never pass it by. I mean, remember when you first discovered the holy emblem upon your hand? Gavin's eyes lit up, remembering the dream Jenny had, and that Abby and his fallen friends were always watching over them. Gavin was nearly convinced. Yeah, but what? I'm not religious, so it's hard to understand. I'm sure your mind is open enough to figure it out. Then looked at the photo with Gavin's mom smiling at him. She was in her early 40s and had children with long hair. Basically, she looks close to mine. Lucy Lucas. I wish I'd have one like this with Beatrice. I don't know why, but can I have this picture? Sure, yeah. My mom was my whole world to me. I was hoping you've already met her. And is she, Abby, Jo, and Dragato actually watching us? Yes, they are. And so was I. They will always be there for you, no matter what. Just as long as you don't corrupt your well-being, as well as others. Wait, were you saying I should get my friends together, venture through all of the 9 circles, and challenge Lucifer to save Ichabod? Think about it, Gavin. I bid you farewell. He could still hear his strong words. Remember, Gavin, you're a guardian of the witnesses. Use all your might to prevail and cleanse the world from evil. Heroes may fade over time, but legends are timeless. Trust your heart, Gavin. It'll never steer you wrong. Out of all the members that Team Witness had currently, Gavin was the last to awaken. He was actually resting on the ground with his face on his hands while inside a tunnel. It was still pretty dark, like the underbelly was expected to be, and at times he heard a distant crack of thunder with no flashes of lightning. The gang just regrouped, and Jenny was the first to notice Gavin rising up. "Oh, you're finally awake." He just gave her a nod since he was still groggy, like everyone else who seemed wide awake, as if they hadn't slept at all. During a hearty breakfast and a constant warning to stay hydrated as long as possible, she was just discussing the message that she sent to Ezra still in the church. He was somber when he heard of Ichabod's fate, then eventually he contacted his daughter. According to him, who was never dissuaded by Henry's speech earlier of the witnesses bound to destroy the world, the passage to hell lies beneath a tree that exploded during the Second Tribulation. He believed that the same place where Abby met her first demise is where Ichabod's soul has been imprisoned. Jenny said to the group that at first the passage was the catacombs, but only she, Abby, Crane, and Gavin faced Pandora and the Hidden One there. Now it's possible it is the entrance to hell and its 9 circles, since Lucifer is now commencing the Great Tribulation on earth. Ichabod shed his blood, and his virtue prudence passed over proportionally to everyone as they noticed the speck at the bottom left was giving off a dim shimmer upon each of their hands. They soon trod to Pandora's hideout. Jenny knew the destination very well. It became fresh in her mind since she lost Abby twice here, as did Gavin when he had flashbacks on what transpired over a year ago. The atrium was still there, and thunder within dark gray nimbus clouds continued to roar overhead. The air felt that the humidity was very high. Abby felt his heart clench and dropped his head. Jenny felt the same. As they looked down, there was a large opaque pit which the group could have sworn light can't reach it. Although it looked like the abyss staring back at them, it was blocked after a few feet down. There was enough light to see the aperture as 1 out of 7 engravings that looked like tears shined. It started at 1 tear from the top, 2 in a different row, 3 in another, then back to 1 again. With some ecstasy, "The Hellhound and Crane must have entered through here. If we could just use our remaining virtues, those will be the keys." She couldn't believe how correct Ezra was. "Guess it all comes in the family," she said to herself, referring to their destinies as witnesses, having vast knowledge of the paranormal, as well as passing down the virtue faith. I guess we finally found the entrance to hell. Although once we go down there, it goes with the phrase literally, all hell would break loose. Without us in the virtues, the world will face utter annihilation, since the good will disappear and not hold evil back. Shall we take that chance? If it's to bring Crane back, then we will. I'm with you on that. We can right all the wrongs. If we should ever return, Ichabod needs us. Better get all our weapons ready. I sure hope Molly will be all right. Let's go. The world and Crane depend on us. Then it's settled. Hands out. Because each individual team witness possessed the remaining sacred virtues as well as a small portion of Ichabod's, they each leaned their hands over the pit in the order of the emblem. With that, each of them glowed, then the light looked as if it dropped into the remaining tiers. Each one was alit, and the passage was spontaneously unlocked when the ground trembled and opened. They looked down through the black hole covered in a thick smog, and next heard some agonizing screams from the uncommitted. Whoa! Is this the true passage to hell? Where Ichabod is? Yes, Gavin. The 7 virtues were the keys to reveal itself, but Crane is in treachery with Lucifer. In treachery? You don't mean... Yes, we have to venture through Hell's 9 other rings. The underworld is a lot more diverse instead of just one single plane full of sin. He's with Lucifer since he made that deal. He was sanctified from his sins of treachery once from the horsemen of death, and now he's bound there. He has heard of the incident while Ichabod died. His blood merged with Abraham's. Then the lines were cut by the sin-eater, Henry. We have to go. He drew out his demon slayer and extended his arm blades. We're coming for you, Ichabod. Wait! We mustn't venture here rashly. We'll only arrive at the shores of the vestibule, where the inscription warns travelers, abandon all hope, ye who enters here. Ah, damn scrolls. All right. She paused for a moment. If you're so desperate to save Crane from his eternal damnation, then let me say this. The journey is certainly a perilous one. Within every circle is a specific sin that gradually intensifies in wickedness. The damned and the demons may attack us too. We should use extreme caution and our virtues to keep us safe. There are some that aren't as knowledgeable of the underworld. It'll take more than just our mere arsenal. We should describe each one to assist each of us. Quite right, Jenny. We should all be well informed as we enter here and descend into each area of the contrapasso. All right, we'll let you two guide us along. Crane's life is at stake, and so is the whole world. Grim looks in their faces, even Diana's, who was worried for her kid. Their determination never wavered. Then, let us start. Laura and Jenny were the first to jump down the shadowy portal. The other horsemen followed. The drop was immensely dark. Through the updraft made the plunge slower and gentler. Luckily, thanks to the light emitting from the backs of their right hands, they saw where they landed after what seemed to be like ages. When they hit solid ground, they saw comets shoot around them, although they knew they were just the sins screaming in agony. Would you explain what this place is, genius? We're at the first half of the Acheron. The other one leads to the first circle, Limbo. This is the place where people wind up if they stay neutral or only care for themselves. Those that took no sides in good nor evil. They're not in hell, nor out of it. I thought they'd be in purgatory if we don't take sides. Only those that repent before they die are sent there. These just stand by and watch the world wither in chaos. They heard some low ringing buzzes, and they turned out to be swarms of wasps and hornets that sting and chase the neutrals, wearing nothing but their ruined skin. What's happening to them? This is supposed to be symbolize their guilty conscience, stinging them for eternity, as they were opportunists that took no sides. Down at their feet were maggots and worms that seemed to slow down their escape. The ugly organisms also drank the blood, pus, sweat, and tears flowing down from the sinners. The team was too frightened to proceed, but Laura and Jenny were daring to cross the field of pain and suffering. Their bodies were imbued in a shiny golden light, and the indigenous insects scattered. They hesitated and looked at themselves. "It's safe passage for us." They walked on, and she suggested to take the ferry that would take them across the river and lead him to Hell proper. Eventually, the remaining four took foot, having the same result as they followed their guides. Lousy dry throat. Through a cavernous tunnel, they reached a massive wooden boat that was ridden by sinners singing a sorrowful chorus of sorts, made by their wailing. It was piloted by the living head of the ship named Charon. With his flaming eyes and dragon-like appearance, he declared to never want any mortals aboard his vessel. Laura and Jenny persuaded him they're on a pilgrimage on holy grounds, on their way to restore Witness's soul, which Lucifer captured. Seeing the emblem on their right hand, Sharon subsided and requested them to board. Together the quartet held hands and huddled tightly as they slowly walked up to the drawbridge, following the two females. "I don't like this," we're hearing the constant cries that'll soon be sent to hell itself. "This is the only way to cross the river, Jake. It's the first step of our journey to save Crane. He wouldn't want us to cower now," Alex whispered to him, hoping to provide him with some loving support. "Crane does need us now. We should never abandon hope just yet, not even with Molly. We must find a way to save him and defeat Lucifer before he engineers the apocalypse." "Right. Dante began his journey with Virgil here. He would want us to do the same. We should be lucky we're all involved in this." I think I'm gonna be sick." Oh. Ugh, no wonder, since Jake is a germophobic. As they sat, the ferry began to sail away through a blackness so thick and rapid, so knowing. They later began to faint, one by one. Alright, the dream sequence was kind of similar to The Sandlot. Still, it was a nice touch before the start of the climax. I felt Gavin needed some motivation before he'd head through Hell's 9 circles in order to retrieve Ichabod's soul. Yep, I'm going to be using elements from Dante's Inferno. So, this is like the darkest I have ever been ever. Ugh, and it's not over. It's only the beginning. And so Team Witness has set a foot into the underworld in order to rescue Ichabod's soul. I should warn you all in advance that things will get more disturbing and take quite a horrific shift. After all, Ichabod did say that hell is made out of our perceptions. You've all been warned. So that's it, guys. I'm the Ecron Writer signing out. From this point on, it's gonna get dark from here. More worse than the last. So stay tuned for that.